very good, that was it. Not very good. Our first defeat in the championship this season, 3-1 loss at home to Oxford. We made Ashton Gate a fortress in, you know, the last season or so, really. And yeah, fell to our first defeat this season. I don't think there's any excuses for it. Just weren't good enough today. I was trying to put my finger on exactly what happened, and I don't feel the need to make it's not like an excuse thing or anything, but I do feel like the players look like they hadn't played a game of football for like 8 days. Our return from the international break was actually really bright. We tend to be really poor returning from international break, but this felt like it was actually a Bristol City post-international break performance. Yeah, 8 days off may have, I don't know, they just weren't up for it today, were they? And Oxford, to their credit, they came here and did a job on us completely. And it wasn't like sitting at the back football either. It was high pressing, putting our players under pressure high up, playing a high line. Got away with it at times, to be fair. We could have had more goals. But I thought they were good today. They kind of played in a way that you would want Bristol City to play. Yeah. 3-1 loss. I'm not going to get too carried away. We'll talk about all the FOTMob stuff as well. We'll stay live for 15, 20 minutes to talk about the game. I'm not going to get carried away. I don't think there's any need to, It's our first defeat of the season. We're still third in the table. I'm going to move my mic. Still third in the table. Win, lose, or draw today, we would have been third or could have gone up to second. There's an opportunity to go up to second today. The automatic promotion places. But yeah, just didn't do it. To be honest, I did a run through of like what happened in the first half. And I've got my usual notes for the game, but I think we can just talk in general today about how the game has gone. I'm going to kind of go off the cuff in this one rather than use the script. We'll talk about the team. So we lined up with BTEC, Atkinson, who unfortunately went off injured in the 15th minute. It was pretty much widely reported amongst fans, I think, that he was struggling with his feet. I think he may have had a foot problem. But I think this one was a knee, which is a real worry. Hopefully he's not out for too long because we lose Atkinson. We've got obviously brought back up, but we saw the impact of losing Atkinson in this game. And I think one of the things that I really struggled with today was our both attacking set piece has been woeful this season. I said it in our last, I said it on the last stream, and I went on Forever Bristol City last week. And I would absolutely say set pieces have been our weakness from an attacking point of view. And today it was both attacking them and defending them that we were really poor at. Oxford's long throws absolutely terrified me. Every time they got a throw in by the edge, by like the side of the box, I was terrified. Their free kicks were really good. Their first goal, the delivery for that free kick, yeah, the defending could have been better. But when you put a ball in like that, they are really, in my mind, they are really difficult to defend. It was a fantastic ball in. They really took advantage of their set pieces today. And their second goal from Plachetta was, again, I think, off a corner, wasn't it? That we didn't clear properly. Jason Knight didn't clear it properly. I thought he just got a poor connection. It was almost a lazy, I would actually use the word lazy. It was a little bit of a lazy clearance. Towards the end of the first half, I thought we should have absolutely just got rid of that as far as possible. And it just didn't happen. It was kind of a lazy clearance, fell to Plachetta, who obviously scored a fantastic goal. Then Mehmeti's goal, I feel really sorry for Mehmeti because it was probably the best goal he's ever scored for this club, but it was to no avail. I mean, it was to put us sort of back in the ascendancy is not the right word, but back in the game at 2-1. It brought the fans back up, and obviously, unfortunately, they scored their third. What else do I want to talk about? Emil Rees. Again, Oxford played such a high line in this game, and you think, the way this Bristol City team is set up with running the channels, running in behind, you'd have thought this was prime game for Rees and our team to bag a load of goals, right? And Rees got in behind 4 or 5 times in the first half. He didn't take a single one of his chances. I think if he took his chances, we could have had 3 or 4 goals in that first half. It wasn't a case that first half we were really bad from an attacking point of view. I just don't think we took our chances. Defensively today we were poor, and I think it kind of all fell apart when Atkinson left the field. We were a bit wobbled without him, I think. And also the substitution was a little bit interesting, where I don't know about you, but I would have considered bringing on Neto Borges at left centre back rather than George Tanner, because when Atkinson came off, Biner moved to the left side, Tanner moved to the right side. I think I'd have brought Neto Borges on and played him left centre back. I don't know about you. I didn't see he came on for 20 minutes and played at left wing back. I didn't see a whole lot from him, and yeah, I think he could have done a better job for us at left centre back. But anyway, Dickey, I thought he was probably at fault for the goal. Viner didn't really do anything too spectacular, but likewise didn't really do anything too bad. Vitek's only got a 5.6 rating here. I definitely don't think it was one of his better games for us. I don't think he necessarily made any mistakes as such. You know, you could somewhat blame him for not claiming the first cross, like the goal for the first cross, but from the first goal from the free kick. We'll get my words out. But at the same time, it's a really good ball, which I think made it really tough. Midfield, I don't think our midfield was great today. Randall was okay. Knight, I think, had one of his worst games I've seen him in a City shirt. And I think, we kind of, Bristol City tend to play to the level of Knight, right? If Knight has a decent game, we play well. He wasn't great today, and I think they did a job on him. Gary Rowett came with a plan today. I think they tried as best they could to nullify Knight and Randall. Did a good job on McCrory too as well. And I thought, just looking at the rest of the team, I thought Sykes wasn't great today either, to be honest with you. In the first half especially, he had one part of the... I can't remember exactly what it was. Was it a pass across to him, or it was a lofted ball to him? And rather than... He was in acres of space. He had 20 yards of space around him. And rather than chest it down, control it, and start an attack, he decided to head the ball. Going forward, I don't think he really offered too much either. He put in effort. He didn't not try today. I think he was really poor. I think there was an argument that maybe he could have been subbed earlier than the 71st minute. I didn't think Sykes was very good today. McCrory didn't have his best game. I wouldn't say he was bad. He just wasn't very effective, I would say. Mehmeti, I think he had a good game, to be honest. Twine showed glimpses, and then Emil Rees was just wasteful up front. I think, I'll say it again, he had 3 or 4 chances for a goal today. And he was just a bit wasteful up front. Subs that came on, obviously George Tanner came on in the 15th minute. I don't think he was bad. I don't think he was good. It's just standard sort of George Tanner performance, really. Neto Borges didn't really show much at left wing back. Didn't really have all that much time. You got stuck in, but again, he just put in a U performance, really. Didn't offer too much going forwards, but got really stuck in. Had a good go. I think he was marking Sariki Dembele for quite a bit of time. He had a good go on him and did a good job, I would say. What else can we say? I think is there any criticism that should go Gerhard's way this game? I'm not going to say this result was Gerhard's fault. I mean, he's not going to have told those players to go out today and look off it, right? I don't think you can blame too much on Struber. The one thing I would say, my voice cracked then, is again, could he have brought on Neto Borges instead of Atkinson? And could Sykes have been subbed a little bit earlier? Those would be the only couple of questions that I have for those two, really, I think. The referee today, by the way, oh God, I was so annoyed at the referee today. I don't know about you. I'm not saying we lost the game because of a poor ref, but their second goal came from a corner that I don't think was actually a corner. It was definitely a goal kick, so they got that wrong. So they should never have had that goal in my mind. Again, I'm not making an excuse. I think Oxford probably should have won the game regardless of that. And also, he just didn't seem to want to give us a single foul at all throughout the game. It felt like the team had to work really hard to win a foul in that game. Just see if I've got anything in my notes that's worth talking about. I just thought Oxford were really good. But decent, I wouldn't say really, they were decent today. But I think we didn't make the most of their high line in the first half. I just thought Reece got in behind so many times. They didn't make the most of it. And we were really suspect, I think. We just looked nervous defensively without Rob Atkinson on the pitch. I've got some tweets that I've bookmarked, as we usually do. Have a quick look at those. From people that I kind of respect on Twitter, including some for myself. I said I'm going to have Oxford, I'm going to have nightmares about long throws. Bristol City FM, someone I trust and respect around Bristol City sort of tactical analysis. We're poor from set pieces today, absolutely, and you can't defend your own box like that. I think I'm going to have nightmares about Oxford preparing for a long throw because their long throws were I found them so scary today. Ron, only the second time Bristol City have conceded 3 goals from set pieces in the same game since 2020. just in general a bad day at the office. You know, we can vent and say it was a bad performance, but overall it's been a decent start to the season. I don't think we should get too carried away. And yeah, exiled Robin, how typical, big crowd, opportunity to go second. We put on our scrappiest, it was the scrappiest performance of the season. Everyone was just a little off it. And yeah, 3+ clear one-on-ones that we missed. And yeah, Anis's goal was unbelievable. One of the best goals, probably the best goal he's scored for us. Yeah, it's a shame it was in vain. Ellis suggesting, yeah, instead of my question as well, why did Tanner come on instead of Borges? I thought the straight swap looked fair. Some interesting analysis from Pez. Genuinely scary how bad we are when Knight is off it. Same against Charlton. Yeah, didn't have his best game against Charlton. Lost nearly every second ball. Only had 25% of all interceptions today and won just 40% of the duels. They were, Oxford were on top of us physically today, I would say. They dominated that kind of side of the game. Really poor overall. And yeah, Struber's going to have to find a plan to beat these scrappy teams. I wouldn't even call Oxford all that scrappy. They came with a plan, executed it, and did well. I don't think we're quite as in much of a meltdown as Norwich. I thought I would bring up the mood by bookmarking that one. Talk Norwich City, by the way, is a fantastic Norwich City fan channel, but they are in an interesting place. And yeah, just in general about their goal from the corner as well. The second goal, I just thought we could have done better from it. I just thought Knight could have cleared the ball a bit better and we'd have been in a better place. But there you go. 12 minutes. I've done, honestly, I know you probably don't watch the other channel, but I've done so much YouTube work on my other channel that I'm absolutely done in this weekend. I've had basically a full-time weekend of work, which has been making YouTube videos. So I think that probably covers it all. I'm just going to have a look at the chat quickly before we end it. Put the chat on the screen. BCFC roaster, rigged, absolutely disgraceful. Just one of them, mate. Can't blame him for the loss, but Tanner massively worsens the team. We were definitely worse without Atkinson in it, I'll say that much. Not good. Knight McCrory poor today. We've become unbalanced with Viner left side, yeah. Shocking all over today, mate. Knight and Reece woeful. Yeah, Reece was not good today. He was not good today. Woeful set-piece defending. I agree. This is my call, right? Before the transfer window closed, I was praying for another striker. Having another striker in the team does, by the way. It doesn't just give Reece backup, it gives Reece competition. I'm not saying having another competent striker on the bench would have meant that Reece took the chances. It just means you work harder in training to be sharper. It just does. It naturally, I'm not saying it doesn't work hard in training, but you know what I mean? That kind of competition pushes players to be better. And Reece is not being pushed as a striker at the moment, with other players in the squad. So that's just something to consider. Embarrassing performance, completely gutless at the back, despite Oxford taking their chances well. Convinced Reece was playing with a blindfold today. Yeah, Reece was not great today. I think overall, though, we'll just bring up the championship table to finish things off. It's not horrendous, right? We're third in the table. We're joint with Leicester, Preston, and Coventry in Preston. Still in the playoffs, Oxford go up to 20th. And I think Oxford had a load of injuries as well to start the season. So yeah, I think this was the first game where they had kind of a full-strength team, and they did the dark arts really well at the end of the game as well to see out the game. Waste time, just be nasty. We've got Preston up next. Preston's going to be a tough team, right? They're joint. They've got the same number of points as us. I think we're away at Deepdale, aren't we? Yeah, we're away at Deepdale. Preston's going to be tough to beat, so that's a challenge, right? Let's see. Preston next weekend. Yeah, what have we got here? Tony with a comment. I'm just going to put that on the screen a sec. Bear with. Oh, it's all happening. You terrible when he came on. Still not convinced what he offers. Too many players had an off day. Probably agree with that. And I'm not sure either what you offers going forward. So I thought he put himself about, showed loads of energy. That's what you does really. Doesn't really do a whole lot else. All right. I think that rounds things off. Sometime this week, because there's been a lot of chat about potential takeover from Turki Al Sheikh, the Saudi boxing matchmaker, part of the royal contingent in Saudi. He's probably more than that as well. I'll probably make a video on him. I'm just so busy with other stuff at the moment going on that this channel has not taken a back seat, but I've stuck to the sort of match previews and reviews. But yeah, I'll try and get one of those out because I think that'd be a useful video. Again, not getting carried away with this loss. It's our first defeat in the championship of the season. We're still in third. We're allowed off days, but I'd say you can have a maximum of 3 or 4 of those in even that, 3 of those in a season, really. And that was number 1 for us. So, yeah, is what it is. We move on. I'm not going to let it ruin my weekend that Bristol City lost today. And I think it's still a nice evening weather-wise in Bristol, isn't it? And I think the next few days are going to be good as well. So I think we'll end things there. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like rating on the stream if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one.